throw away calcium where it's not, get rid of the calcium where it's not supposed to be. There's this GLA protein matrix in the tissues of the arteries that is able, if vitamin K is present, it's able to get rid of calcium and start changing that hard artery into a flexible, healthy, younger, biologically younger artery. So we got to pay attention to the calcium calcification paradox. There's another powerful natural strategy available that I can't help but mention because it relates to charcoal. We've talked about detoxification and the power of charcoal in helping detoxify the body. Well, just a few years ago, not more than an hour from where we're tonight in San Diego, the American Society of Nephrology held its annual meetings. And at that meeting, Dr. Valentina Kahn, she was a professor from Vanderbilt University. She presented a study that she had done with her colleagues at Vanderbilt showing that mice who had had a part of their kidneys damaged, who now were not able to fully detoxify the blood, were not able to do their job, quickly developed atherosclerosis and serious heart disease. Very quickly. They found that when they added activated powdered charcoal to the diets of these mice, they didn't develop heart disease, even though they had compromised kidneys. It was such an interesting finding that they had talked about the fact that chronic kidney disease, after a certain stage, there's very little currently available in conventional medical practice to treat that effectively and prevent the heart disease that it causes. But what they found with this mice study is that even after delaying treatment to these mice who are developing problems by adding the charcoal to their diet, their heart disease resolved. So what's going on here? We've been talking throughout this entire series about inflammation. The researchers found that the cholesterol was still the same, the blood pressure was still the same, but what changed dramatically was inflammation. Why? Because it's toxins in the blood that create inflammation for the most part. The top lipidologists, cardiologists understand that you have to have a toxin in the artery wall for plaque to begin. Because that plaque is an attempt of the white blood cells to scavenge out those toxins out of the artery wall. And as those white blood cells fill up with that toxic cholesterol, they form into foam cells like styrofoam, plaque. And so we have a potential treatment that people can use. We need to address what is causing the toxicity. But when somebody has an acute infection, as John did on his foot, if he had put a charcoal poultice on that immediately and gotten medical treatment, he would have never developed acute renal failure. So that's something to think about. I was asked this question once at a small medical conference that our medical group put together. And it was a visiting nephrologist who was giving a talk to the group promoting a new blood pressure medication. He said, what is the average number of blood pressure medications needed to properly treat hypertension? He said he was looking at all of us around that boardroom table, and he says, each of us, we all need to stop telling our patients that they can resolve their blood pressure problem with one medication. It's just because it rarely happens. We need to stop telling our patients that they can control their blood pressure problems with two medications. I'm not talking about taking the same medication twice during the day. I'm talking about taking two different types of medications once or twice. And he went on to say that in nephrology and in the treatment of hypertension, it oftentimes will take 3 to 4 different types of blood pressure medications alone